Hello everyone! Thank you so much for coming to another edition of OHOF in the Wild. This time we're going to be taking a little break from being outside to beat the summer heat. So today we're going to be making some watercolor collage art piece in order to talk about Ed Ruscha, a prominent Oklahoman artist who also does a lot of media, different forms of art, different mediums of art, a lot of graphic design and stuff like that. So for today's activity, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys the supply list. We're going to need some magazines or some old photos, cups of water right over here for our watercolors, and of course we'll need brushes, either cardstock or watercolor paper in order for the watercolors to really pop out. Some scissors right over here, and some tape, because at least the tape is optional to make a border. So you guys might have noticed what I have over here. I already did some collecting or cutting out of magazines, so that's what the magazines are going to be for, is to cut out some of your favorite photos you see in the magazine to put on our watercolor collage. So first step I'm going to do is make a border around my photo, and I think I'm going to do landscape instead of portrait. Let me put these to the side for now. Okay, and then I'm going to use my masking tape, get the edge, and then try and line up close as possible to the top. There we go, and I'm going to use my scissors to cut it off. Like that. I'm going to repeat it on the other sides. So one right here. I'm going to leave that on the table. Awesome. Let me pick this up and do the other side. I think it would be a good idea to leave a little bit of room of tape at the edge. That way it's easier to take off. Ooh, this one's not going to be even. There we go. If you pull enough gently, you won't mess up the paper, but that's completely fine. You know, that's the thing about art. It doesn't always have to be perfect. Like the classic artist himself said, they are just happy mistakes. Put another one right here, and my border is all done. So the next step will be to go ahead and grab your magazines and put this aside too, some photos to put on your collage. And hopefully whenever you're doing this step that you find like a theme or inspiration, but honestly it's completely fine to just completely wing it, because that's what I'm doing. I might be doing like a little homage to my favorite things in Oklahoma, since I have the Route 66 sign, the Factory Obscura museum is right there. And of course, I love to travel at different places in Oklahoma. But this photo of this flower really caught my eye. So at this point, I'm just gonna, you guys can follow along with me, of cutting out photos or out of magazines, so we can use them for our own art piece. Turn this around a little bit, like that. That piece, and I'll put my pieces over here. And I'm going to continue finding some more through my magazine real quick. I think I might have bookmarked some of them. I just have to find my bookmark. But I hope everyone's having a good summer so far. That you're being safe and that you're hydrated, because we all know with this Oklahoma heat it can definitely get to us. Ah, here we go. Here are the pictures I wanted to use as well. They're very pretty and I want to use them very, very much. This is supposed to be the Chickasaw Mountains Wildlife Refuge near Lawton. So let me go ahead and move some stuff so I can carefully cut out these photos. But like I said, your little collage doesn't really have to follow a theme at all. Like for instance, when I started getting those photos, they didn't really have a theme. I just kind of started picking out items that really caught my eye, and then I just made up the theme of my favorite places of Oklahoma. Once I looked at all my photos, I'm like, oh yeah, these are all representations of my favorite things in Oklahoma. So that's the theme of my art project. Let me move this so the tape does not disturb me. And I'll continue finding more photos. You can probably use your favorite magazine, like maybe if you have like a sports magazine, one about flowers or home decorations or about toys even. A fashion magazine would work so great as well. Okay, I'm going to use my other magazine now and see what I can find in there. Oh, I guess I bookmarked a lot of these. Ooh, I'm going to use this photo of the fireworks. Yeah, see, I'm going to use this one. I'll go ahead and grab it, or cut it out really. I'm not going to grab it. There we go. Oops. I'm doing it like this. I might have enough photos, especially have that one big one, so that'll work out. This one. There was another photo that caught my eye. Now I have to find it. I should have bookmarked it, but maybe I did. Let me see. Oh, it's right here. I'm going to use this photo of Fiesta De Las Americas. For those who have never heard of this festival, it's held in historic Capitol Hill on the south side of Oklahoma City off of Southwest 25th Street, and they do a parade basically representing all the Latinx cultures and Hispanic cultures here in Oklahoma City. All the local schools also have their own floats as well. So my old elementary school really takes part in this festival, takes part in the parade. And then after the parade, there's of course going to be live music, live dancing, like this type of dancing, a lot of food and a lot of activities. It's really fun for the whole family. It's definitely one of my favorite parts of OKC and growing up here. So just a little shout out to that. Okay, I think I am good on photos. I might save this one for next time if I need more, but I'm gonna go ahead, put this to the side and grab my cardstock. I'm gonna do it this way and tape it down like that. I'm gonna start gathering my photos and see. Oh yeah, this one's definitely gonna be a little bit too big. I'm gonna have to cut this one down. Oof, but I'm not sure which part I want to use, either clouds or the... I'll figure it out. Let me go ahead and cut it up. But that's the fun part about art, you can change it up and then reuse the materials you use for other things. Definitely have to cut this a little bit more, maybe right here. Maybe round it off to make it a little bit more organic. So I can go right here and I'll use the clouds for something. Oh shoot, I'm gonna have not enough room for all my favorite things. Oh, it's kind of sad. Let me put this one to the side. Put this one right here. Or maybe I will have room. I'm gonna go ahead and round out the corners of the magazine photos I took, or cut out. I definitely did not take these. I'm gonna round them out to just make it seem more organic and not so like I definitely cut these out of a magazine. But that's completely optional. You guys can definitely keep it a square if you want to. Okay, like that, and then pick up the pieces I just cut out and put it to the side from a little trash pile. Do the same thing for this one, and I might... Sorry I'm out of frame, but my trash pile is right over here, out of frame. It'd just be easier if I just do it like this. Okay, Here's this one. My Route 66 one's perfectly fine. I might overlap them. That might be fun, you know, to overlap things. Like that. And in my van, my photo of my van. I wish I had a van. That would be so much fun. That's definitely one of my dreams. Like, my definitely like from watching movies, doing like a crazy road trip, either with family or friends. We'll see if we survive or can still stand each other after a road trip in a van. But if any of y'all watching this have ever taken a road trip with your family or friends, please tell me how that went, because I would love to know. I'm still cutting out some more pieces, or not cutting out more pieces. I'm just gonna shape them differently. Whoops. So I guess this kind of shows you with a standard piece of paper, you definitely don't need that many photos. Or it might help if you didn't use a border like I did, so you have more room. But I thought having a border would be a lot of fun. Especially, it's very satisfying to peel off all that tape, so. But that's fine. I'm gonna go ahead and move some things around like that. Let's see if this can fit. This will fit. I will make this fit because it's so nice. And can you imagine, I have never been to the Wichita Mountain Wildlife Refuge. But definitely will go this summer. Ooh, that'll definitely be fun. Ooh, sorry. So many theme ideas right now. You can use this art activity to do like a makeshift bucket list. So finding photos of the different things you want to do this summer, or maybe by the end of the year. That would be a lot of fun. Just some ideas, you know, just spitballing ideas. Okay, this should now all work. Hopefully. Yes, this should work. 66, and my van can be up here in the sky, or maybe I'll move this. Oh, I don't want that taken away. Maybe something like this. The van in the sky. I have room for one more thing right here, but I think I'll leave enough space to actually use the watercolors, because I already used up so much space with just my photos that I picked out. I'm gonna go ahead and try and trim this a little bit so I can have hopefully more space to use watercolor. But the purpose of using the watercolor is basically just to fill in the backgrounds if you have any like empty space that you don't want, you know, maybe not have any room for more photos, or you just don't want more photos there. So like right here, I can definitely use that space for watercolor. Okay, I'm gonna try and trim this down just a little bit more so it's not too cluttered. But if you want that cluttered look, that is completely fine. Another nice thing about art, you can change it however you want it to be, and that will be completely fine because it's your art piece. Oh, it's still too big. Okay. Alrighty. Perfect. Alrighty, so I have all my photos glued. All the photos I wanted, at least, glued down. So the next, almost to the last step, is going to watercolor in some of the blank space. So of course, got my brush, and then let me, whoops, move some things. Okay, that's still not in frame, but that's fine. I'm just gonna dip my brush in some water and then start picking up some paint. I'm gonna start with blue on this area because it kind of matches the Factory Obscura image. And You can use as much paint or as little as you want. If you don't want to paint the whole thing or you just want to do sections, that is completely fine. But this step is very, very calming. Honestly, this might be a really fun activity to do outside on your porch, or maybe on a picnic blanket in a park, at a picnic table. At this point, I'm just gonna do some finishing touches, but not really. But this is the end of my watercolor collage. Oh, okay. If you didn't do the border, then you are completely done. Of course, you can let this dry. But if you did like what I did and use a border, our last step is to go ahead and peel off all this tape, which I'm gonna do right now. I don't think it should affect the paint. You might want to let this dry a little bit so the paint doesn't bleed, but if you're anything like me, I am slightly impatient, so I'm going to go ahead and peel it off right now. Alrighty, y'all, I'm completely done, and I will say, to caution, be careful peeling up the tape because you might accidentally peel up some paper, but that's completely fine. I think I add some extra flair to it. So y'all, here is the completed, or at least my completed, watercolor collage that I made using, of course, watercolors and photos from magazines. So mine is just my fairy things of Oklahoma, This is my theme for my art project, so I hope you guys had a lot of fun doing this activity and following along here at the Oklahoma Hall of Fame. And of course, we will see you for another installment of OHOF in the Wild. Bye, y'all.